Hey y'all, Serena Starlight with you. I hope everyone's doing well. So, this is going to be a quick little video. I just want to talk about how crazy it is that some practitioners are charging for a freaking cord cutting spell. A cord cutting spell is the easiest spell you could ever possibly do, in my opinion. Now, you do have to do it correctly. If you don't do it correctly, the cord won't deattach properly, and or it will just reattach. So, like for example, you have to include iron in the spell, in some shape or form. Iron is what cuts the energetic cord. Most practitioners who are offering cord cutting spells are not doing them correctly. They're not. It's very rare that you see an actual witch doing a cord cutting correctly. Just being honest. So most people are getting scammed anyways. But the price that witches are charging for a freaking cord cutting spell is crazy. It's literally crazy. I see some witches charging $70, $80, $90, $120, $200 for a freaking cord cutting spell. Now, I usually charge between $30 and $50 because I put a lot of energy work in my cord cuttings. Cord cuttings are more energy work than they are ingredients. To be honest, in order to be effective, you have to make sure those energetic cords are cut properly. But yeah, I just want to talk about that. It is outrageous how much money that witches are charging for a freaking cord cutting spell. They're very easy to do. You just need 2 candles and a string, really. I mean, you do need salt, you do need iron, but a cord cutting takes me about an hour to do. Maybe a little bit over an hour, depending on how bad the cord is. But it's mostly energy work than it is ingredients. That's one reason why I don't charge a lot, because you don't need a lot of ingredients. You just need like maybe some salt, some black pepper, some cayenne. Lime is very good in cord cuttings. Lemon juice. But yeah, you don't need a lot of supplies for a cord cutting. So, you know, it shouldn't be that expensive. And plus, they're very easy to do. I do a cord cutting for myself. But yeah, I do a cord cutting for myself at least every week, sometimes every 2 weeks. And I do them for loved ones constantly because they're very easy to do and they're very cheap to do. You literally just need a piece of string and 2 candles and salt, some kind of iron. You know, you can add in some black pepper, some cayenne. Limes and lemon juice is very, very good for cord cuttings. But most of the time, cord cuttings are more energy work than anything. Now, as people know, I do have psychic abilities. I am, you know, I got my arcane senses like fully open. I can fully use them. So I know how to energetically tap into the cords. Like I can literally see where they're attached and I can cut them. Like recently, I did a cord cutting for sugar addiction. I'm addicted to sugar. I love sugar, especially chocolate. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have to do a cord cutting because, you know, I'm too addicted to sugar at this point. So I did a cord cutting like last week, I think it was, for, you know, cutting cords with sugar addiction. And I could see that the cords were in my heart and in my stomach. Of course, you know, it's going to be in your stomach, but I could see that it was in my heart too. Probably because sugar, you know, makes you feel happier. But anyway, I could see where the cords were attached and I was able to cut all the cords. But yeah, most witches aren't doing them correctly. Most witches are rushing them. They're not taking the time. They're not doing the energy work. They're just tying string to a candle and letting it burn. I could do a cord cutting without ingredients. I can. I just like using ingredients because it does help make it work. But ingredients is not necessary. But yeah, I just want to talk about cord cuttings. I have a long video on my YouTube going in full detail about cord cuttings. But yeah, most witches are not doing them correctly. They're definitely not doing the energy work correctly. Not all witches, of course, but you know, most of them. And yeah, they're charging outrageous prices for their cord cutting spells when they're very easy to do. You know, I see it all the time. I see witches charging a crap ton for cord cuttings, and even the ones who are charging cheap, you know, most of them are not even doing it right. It's hard to find a witch that actually knows how to do a cord cutting properly. It's more than just, you know, 2 candles and a string. You have to, you know, do the energy work correctly. So, and I know mine worked because it did just help me with my sugar addiction. It's helped. Anyway, I was saying I know it worked because I've noticed a huge difference. I have a whole candy jar full of chocolate right now and I've barely touched it. And I've noticed it helped me with my overeating too. I did include overeating, but it was mostly for sugar addiction. But I noticed it has helped a lot because I barely been eating compared to what I used to. So I know my cord cutting spells are effective. I've done so many for me and they always work. I've done them for loved ones and they always work. So yeah, I just want to talk about cord cutting spells and warn you guys, look out for, you know, witches. A cord cutting spell shouldn't be no more than $50 in my opinion. So yeah, if it's more than $50, I would be a little hesitant on, you know, paying for that price. Right now I'm charging $45 and I may charge it cheaper. So we'll see. Yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and comment, like, and yeah, hope you guys have a great day. Bye.